Drya, or is it? Alrighty, welcome to the Heavy Metal Hero podcast here on the Morphin Network. Today we are here to discuss Cho Uchukeiji Gavan Infinity, episode 10, Ninja Gavan. Which I probably should have brought the... There it is. Alrighty. Hey, so, but before we get into today's episode, I'm going to discuss a little bit about... apparently, yes, I know we're 10 episodes in, but Toei has already confirmed the next installment in Project R.E.D, which is called Omega Horn. So I'm interested to see what that's like. I do remember hearing rumors before Gavan Infinity started that would be potentially like 23 or 25 episodes in. Starting to look like that's the case. So yes, Omega Horn is confirmed. Obviously, we don't really know anything about it. I don't know if it's going to come in, immediately after Gavan Infinity is over later this year or next year or what. But all right. But according to the rumors about it, the main character will look similar to Red Buster, and he will have kaiju in there, which the kaiju will apparently be similar to the Seiju, aka the Galactabeasts from Ginga Man / Lost Galaxy. So I'm interested to see what Omega Horn is like. When me and Jared would discuss potential Gavans based on other metal heroes, one of them that I suggested was like Gavan with Juspion. So Gavan Spion, I guess we would call him Gavan Juspy. So I suppose maybe Omega Horn will be Gavan Spion, I guess. Well, in any case, it sounds interesting. I hope it's good. I'm interested to learn more about it. But as far as Gavan Infinity goes, we now have Gavan Raya in this episode. The episode begins with the Luminous duo getting readings about another Gavan. No, a dimension hopper. And they're like, wait, is it Infinity? If it was, he would have told us. And then they see Mr. Not Jiraiya. So he shows up, and then he goes away. And then he goes to his superior back into his own universe. And of course, being a ninja, being an obvious homage to Jiraiya, or as I like to jokingly call him, Super Space Sheriff Super Space Sheriff Skyfire Infinity. I mean, yeah, they could totally do that. If Hasbro was smart, they could totally make a I don't know, maybe make a Captain Chaku spinoff or something with having the Gavan Infinity suit be his successor. And then, we already established Sheriff Skyfire in Power Rangers. You could maybe have the Gavan Raya suit be an upgrade? His successor? Something like that?
There's a simple
or, I don't know, like... So, yeah. So, or it's like what me and Boken Kabuto said, that you could have this be a continuation of VR Troopers. I mean, that would be interesting. It didn't exactly get closure back in the day. Neither did Beetleborgs, I don't think. So it'd be interesting to see, the main three VR Troopers as the main three Gavans in this show. Of course, it's never going to happen. Who knows if it would be executed well, considering the vast majority of Power Rangers seasons over the last 15 years. But back to Gavan Infinity. So Gavan Raya goes to his superior, and him being a ninja and all, he doesn't open the door. He just uses a space ninja technique to just materialize through the wall. And then, does his reports, and his superior At least I'm presuming that's his superior. No, wait, yeah, it is. Silly me. So he's like, does he really hate Doors that much? Yes, Doors killed his father. So, and then he meets this guy with this weird metal nose mask thing on his face, and it looks like he's kind of blackmailing him, just kind of telling him, oh, just basically obey whatever I say. So I'm interested to see more about that. Like, excuse me, is he blackmailing him? Does he have something of his? Is he holding a family member of his hostage or something? I guess we'll find out. So he goes into Gavan Infinity's universe because he was tracking the dimensional footprints, something like that. He was tracking, Gavan Infinity without realizing it was Infinity. Oh yeah, wait, a little before that, I'm jumping a little ahead of myself. Well, before that, they introduced the Dornado, which is obviously a homage to Dolgiran and from the original Gavan. So when Gavan Infinity was first announced and the toys were shown, I thought, I wonder if we'll get like a dragon mecha that's similar to Electric Starby's Dole. And lo and behold, there it is. And it looks cool. I like the way it combines with the Gavarion trigger, both in the ship mode and in the mecha mode, which we'll get into later. So then, after they see the new ship, Gavan Raya finds Reiji, and he finds them, and of course he's invisible. Oh, and is attacking them, and then they're like, okay, what's going on? Where is this guy? He gets Reiji. He kind of pins him down, but then Reiji uses one of the Emor gears. I forget what the name of it is called, but it gets rid of his invisibility so that he's visible. And they're like, wait, there's another Gavan? And then apparently it's a big revelation for the two ass clowns. That's what I'm going to call the one guy and the guy who sounds like Sayo from Yu-Gi-Oh! GX, a.k.a. Dio, a.k.a. Pandora from the original Yu-Gi-Oh!, a.k.a. Excalibur from Soul Eater, and so on. Oh yeah, and the Zeus Dopont from Memory of Heroes. So they find out that he is Gavan. All right. And so Reiji wants answers. Gavan Raya is not giving him any, and they fight, and it actually is an impressive fight. It was a fun fight to watch, Infinity versus Raya. So, and then afterwards, he does a ninja technique, steering. At least that's what the subtitles that I watched it were called it. He basically hijacks Dornado, almost said Dole, force of habit. and so it's like, oh wow, look at that. It's Jiraiya piloting Dole. A ninja on a dragon. So he's trying to attack Reiji. And then they send a Cosmo Gavarion down because, well, he obviously needs firepower and such to go against the Dornado. But Gavan Raya hijacks that and combines it, which, yeah, the combined form with Dornado and the Cosmo Gavarion does look more like Gavan. No, not Gavan. And Dole. Dole. I can't English today. So, when it combines with it does look more like Dole from the original Gavan. It's a cool looking update. It actually makes me want to get the Gavarion trigger and the Tornado. Oh, yeah, there is the Soul of Chogokin, Dole. Thing's expensive though. I mean, I'd love to have either of those, but everything we love must be so expensive, doesn't it? So, they sent down another Cosmo Gavarion, and Reiji thinks that, well, if Death Gavan can open Maku space, maybe I can too. So he attempts to do it, but Gavan Raya with the combined Tornado basically destroys, for the most part, well, a good chunk of it, of the other Cosmo Gavarion, leaving only its right arm and its torso and head. But it was basically an elaborate ruse for Reiji to get onto the ship, have another fight with him, and arrest Gavan Raya. So he arrests him and basically just, takes him in for questioning and whatnot. And cue the end credits song. We've got the one guy. Right? Oh yeah, Wanibuchi and Patron or Patwan. I guess it depends on what subtitles you're watching. And then I'm just gonna call him Sayo. AKA Patwan. And I'm just gonna call him Sayo since he's the same voice actor. He decides that he too is going to become a Gavan. So I'm thinking to myself, all right, what's he gonna look like? What's he gonna be called? So if he does become a Gavan, he does kind of, it's mainly the eyes on his design. And that makes him look like something out of Kabutaka or Robotech. So it makes me think, is he going to be Gavan Tak? Something like that? Who knows? We'll have to wait and see. But it was a fun episode to watch. I was enjoying it. Yeah, Gavan Infinity is, it may not be the best tokusatsu show I've watched, story-wise. The aesthetics are awesome. Don't get me wrong. I love all the Gavan suits in this show. They all look cool in their own way. So, it's like what me and Jared said before, that I would like to see other Gavans based on other metal heroes. Like, I already talked about Gavan Spion. Geez, what would Spielbahn be? Gavan Spiel? Yeah, that would sound better than Gavan Eelbahn. Yeah, Eelbahn just sounds awkward. Gavan Talder. We already have Gavan Raya. Gavan, what would G-Bon be? Gavan Bon? Gavan Bon. So, I'd say I'd give this episode a good 9 out of 10. And it was a good episode. I think it was one of the better episodes of Gavan Infinity. The fight scene between Infinity and Raya was, it was very entertaining. It was very cool. I enjoyed it. So maybe the show's getting a little better. I mean, sometimes that happens with some shows to where the beginning might not be the best, but it's just that maybe 10 or so episodes in, it starts to get its footing and gets better. Who knows? We'll see. Well, I suppose we might as well go to the the comments, and we've got a lot. Let's take yes, Kaiju no Kami. Good to see you again. Good evening. Good evening to you too, sir. Yo, Kaiju no Kami is back. Indeed. Smiley face. Wait, which time's... Oh, wait. Oh, okay. Gavan Jiraiya. Exactly. I guess Bulk Mirror Bot will become Gavan after all. Apparently. As much as I kind of don't care for this duo, I'm actually interested to seeing what his design will be like. I mean, for God's sake, we already had a Gavan ant. Gavant. I'm stronger than an ant. If it was this big. And if you get that reference, I love you. Or at least Richard Brown equivalent. Yes, Shinken Brown. Who can forget? I am Sorry, I'm on my phone, so I am ambivalent to Omega Horn. I probably should make this week's Toku Topics episode about it. Oh, yes, it's interesting to think about. Like, definitely want to hear more about it. Yeah, and you and Jake should do a collab on it. Well, I was in his Power Morphicon video in my Red Racer / Red Turbo Ranger suit. That was fun to do. Beetleborgs kind of had closure. They got rid of the crustaceans and obtained Boron's axe. Wish it was a bit more cinematic. Yeah, I still find it interesting how Kawaga Titan, that's what he was called in B-Fighter Kabuto, how he did not have a toy in the B-Fighter Kabuto toy line in Japan. But Bandai America, they actually made a Boron toy. I've actually seen some Japanese fans import the Boron toy just to have a Kawaga Titan toy. It's interesting how that works. It's like, I mean, there were definitely times with the Bandai America toy line to where they didn't release everything. Let's see, the Elephant Zord from Wild Force, the Mighty Mammoth, which I guess I can understand the Mighty Mammoth to an extent. It's a big toy, but they could have made it a Toys R Us exclusive. And the Purple Packy Zord. I mean, they generally released everything, but there were a few weird times to where they didn't release everything, even though it was a regular thing in the show. It's odd. Well, at least they handled it a lot. Geez, I remember back in the day when people would complain about Bandai America's policies and whatnot, but at least they generally released everything, unlike Hasbro, to where, let's see, we never got an American release of the Tatagami Lyo, aka the Beast X Zord, and then they released the, it was the Dimetro Zord for Dino Fury after the show is over. Hasbro, what are you guys doing? Anyways, in fact, they basically aired the final few episodes of Beetleborgs on UPN instead of Fox Kids. Interesting. I wasn't aware of that. I still need to watch B-Fighter and B-Fighter Kabuto. I wonder if Discotech will ever release both of those shows. I mean, they did release Shider, which, people for a while were wondering if they could because of, it being one of the 3 shows made into VR Troopers and owned by Saban and Hasbro. But, they released it, so it gives me good faith that Discotech could eventually release Spielbahn, Metalder, and the B-Fighter shows. We'll see. Although I won't be surprised if I get the feeling that Discotech's next Metal Hero show that they would release would probably be Jiraiya, maybe Blue SWAT. I'm guessing it's one of those two. I'd be surprised if it wasn't. You know what Doors also did? Divide the dimensions of our world and the realm of Johnny's Closet. Someday we will save you, Hiroshi Nagano. We will save you from being a slave to Johnny's grasp. Everyone is calling Potron and Wanibuchi Bulk and Skull. I can see it, but I feel it. But Bulk and Skull had more charm to them and were actually funny, Oh, he's also Zex. I haven't seen Gundam. Oh, wait, I did see some of Gundam Wing when I was a child, when it was on Toonami back in the day. So forgive me if I'm mispronouncing that. Yeah, I'm guessing it's Zex. On Gundam Wing and LaFlago? LaFlogo? Yeah, LaFlaga in Gundam Seed. I take it you're talking about the voice actor for Sayo and Dio. You mean Neo Roanoke? I don't know who that is, but okay. Okay, yeah, he says, yep, haha. Between Moo and Neil from Seed and Neil and Lyle from 00, am I pronouncing that right? Or is it 00? Both shows give me Beer Fest vibes. I am Landfill's brother. I'd like to take his place on your team. All right. Also, out of respect for my brother, can you guys call me Landfill? Okay? Are these like Gundam references? I probably need to watch more Gundam then. Gavan. Yeah, okay, is that what I know that's the Japanese pronunciation of Gavan, but I take it you're talking about potential Gavan Jibon, that would just be called Gaban. I need to see B Fighter. Well, I have seen Kabuto, but just raw Japanese. Yeah, I remember back in the day before either shows were subbed, I was on Facebook trying to look for because they had a bunch of tokusatsu episodes put on there, like whole series, and I happened to found a page that had all of the B Fighter Kabuto episodes, but they were all raw. Good times. I'm guessing it will be Blue SWAT. Giving Spielbahn has been announced as for Blu-ray disc in Japan this October. That is true. I would see Discotek waiting until they have access to that version, and my theory is Jiraiya and what? Is there more to that? Oh, and Metalder will be given the same treatment. Yeah, I can honestly see that. I mean, when going back to the whole, I could see them releasing either Jiraiya or Blue SWAT next. I get the feeling that after they release most of the other Metal Hero shows, you know, let's, either Gavan and Blue SWAT or vice versa. And okay, let's see. What all did they release? Gavan, Charivan, Scheider, Juspion, Spielbahn, Metalder, Jiraiya, G-Bon, and the Rescue Hero. No, wait, yeah. Winspector, Soul Brain, Exceed Draft, Jan Person. Oh wow. We've already got and my kitty's being silly. So yeah, I honestly figured that they would release those shows first, Gavan and Blue SWAT, and then start working on the shows that were actually adapted to America. Spielbahn, Metalder, and the B Fighter. Basically for to end it all, unless if they release Kabutek and Robotech. Yes, those are Gundam references. All right, I figured. Except for Landfill, he's a Beer Fest reference. All right. Landfill died, and his brother took his place and asked to also be called Landfill out of respect for his twin. All right. Let's see. Any other comments, or is that it? Come on, work with me. Even though Landfill never died. Well, all right. It looks like that's all the comments. So alrighty. This was my first time doing the live stream by myself. I know I stuttered a few times. I usually do better with the script, but I probably did fine. It's fine. And so, alrighty. Well, thank you for joining us and for the Heavy Metal Hero podcast. We might have to change the name once Omega Horn comes out and we cover that. You did good. Oh, thank you, Kaiju no Kami. I appreciate that. Alrighty, so we do. You know what? No, our upcoming conventions, and so we've got on the 31st of May this year, which is coming up. We've got Robo Toy Fest at the Burbank Marriott Convention Center, and then August 28th through the 30th at the Pasadena Convention Center, or it'll be Power Morphicon, one of the two best Toku conventions on Earth. The other being G Fest. I can't speak for Ranger Stop because I unfortunately have never been there. I'd like to go, but conventions are expensive. So, alrighty. Well, thank you for joining us. We do Kamen Rider Ryuki. We do Kamen Rider Zets. Ultraman Cosmos, which we'll be doing in about a half hour. So stay tuned for that. And Super Space Sheriff Gavan Infinity. See, I can't speak well. I can't English tonight. Alrighty. Well, thank you all for watching. Have a good night. And until next time, Jojak Seo, Uchu Keiji Gyabon.